If you watched your parents spend your entire childhood pouring every dollar, every compliment, every ounce of energy into your brother, and then you got handed a microphone at his wedding, would you say something? Or would you smile and clink glasses like everything was fine? Because I picked up that microphone. And apparently, that makes me the villain. Okay, some context, because I know how this sounds without it. My brother is Marcus. He's 32, I'm 28. Growing up, Marcus was the golden child, and I don't mean that in a petty, jealous younger sibling way. I mean it in a documented, receipts available, ask literally anyone who knew our family way. Marcus got the car at 16. I took the bus until I was 19 and bought my own. Marcus's college tuition? Fully paid, mine. My parents gave me $3,000 and told me I was resourceful. I graduated with 40,000 in student loans. I'm still paying them. Marcus got a down payment for his first house, $50,000 when he was 26. My mom told me at the time that they just didn't have it for me. 2 years later, $50,000 for Marcus, and I want to be clear, I don't hate my brother. Marcus is actually decent. He's not the one who made these choices. He didn't ask for the favoritism, and he never rubbed it in my face. But our parents? They made a very deliberate, very consistent choice across 20 plus years, and everyone in the family saw it and said nothing. The unspoken rule was, we don't talk about the imbalance, we just absorb it. So when Marcus got engaged to his girlfriend Priya, I was genuinely happy for them. Priya is wonderful. She's warm and funny and she loves him, and the wedding was beautiful, this big backyard reception at a rented estate, fairy lights everywhere, the works. And my parents paid for a large chunk of it. Of course they did. When Marcus asked me to give a toast, I said yes. I spent 2 weeks writing it. The week before the wedding, I showed my mom a draft. Not the full thing, just the bones of it. And she pulled me aside in her kitchen and said, "This is Marcus's day. Keep it light, keep it positive." And I said I would, and I meant it. But then the rehearsal dinner happened. My dad stood up during dinner unrehearsed, completely off the cuff, and gave this 10-minute speech about Marcus, about how proud he was, about how Marcus was the kind of son who made everything worth it. He cried. Actual tears, and the whole table applauded. And I sat there and I thought about every single time I'd achieved something and gotten a nod. A nod. I graduated with honors. I got a nod. I got promoted twice in 3 years at my job. I got a good for you, honey. And I thought, okay, okay. I went home that night and I rewrote the toast, not to be cruel. I want to be honest about that. I didn't write it to blow anything up. I wrote it because it felt like the last possible moment where the truth could exist in a room with all of us in it. The wedding day comes, it's gorgeous, everyone's happy. Marcus and Priya are glowing, and then they hand me the microphone after dinner. I start warm. I talk about Marcus when we were kids, a funny story about him teaching me to ride a bike. People laugh. And then I say, and I'm going to quote this as close as I can remember, I also want to say something a little more honest because I think that's what real love looks like. Marcus, watching our parents show up for you, in every way for our whole lives, it taught me what it looks like when someone is truly chosen. I didn't always get to feel that, but watching you build a life with Priya, I think you'll choose each other every day. And that matters more than any of the rest of it. Then I raised my glass, dead silence, and then some people clapped kind of hesitant, like they weren't sure if they were supposed to. My mom's face had gone completely white. My dad was staring at the tablecloth. Marcus looked at me like I'd just pulled a fire alarm. My aunt found me by the bar about 20 minutes later and just said, "Why would you do that tonight?" Not angry, more like genuinely baffled, and I didn't have a clean answer. My mom didn't speak to me for the rest of the reception. My dad came over once, put his hand on my shoulder, and said, "This wasn't the time." Which, and yeah, I hear it, is probably true. Marcus texted me 2 days later, not furious, but hurt. He said, "I know things haven't been fair, I know that. But it was my wedding day, and now that's part of the story of it forever." And I read that 3 times because he's not wrong. I took something that was supposed to be entirely about him and Priya, and I made it partly about me and my grief. I know that, I do. But here's the thing I keep coming back to, my parents have never once acknowledged the imbalance. Not to me, not to Marcus, not to anyone. And every family gathering for the rest of my life, we're all supposed to keep pretending. The toast wasn't kind, but was it wrong? Priya, for what it's worth, texted me a week later, just 3 words, "I get it." I have no idea what to do with that. A few weeks after the wedding, my mom called. We talked for almost an hour. She cried. She said she didn't realize how much I was carrying. She didn't apologize exactly, but she said she wanted to do better. My dad has not called. So now I'm sitting with this. I said something true, at the wrong time, in a room full of people who weren't ready to hear it, at my brother's expense. And somehow it cracked something open that 28 years of silence never did. So here's where I land, and honestly, I don't know where you're going to land on this, and that's kind of why I'm telling it. I hurt my brother on his wedding day. That's real and I have to live with it. But I also said the only true thing anyone has said out loud in our family in 3 decades, and something shifted. Maybe not in a good way, maybe not in a clean way, but it shifted. My mom is calling now, my dad isn't. Marcus and I are in this weird, careful place where we're both being very gentle with each other, which is new. And I keep wondering if I'd given the safe toast, the light one, the clink your glasses and smile version, would any of that have moved? Would it have mattered? Or would we all still be standing around pretending? I genuinely don't know if what I did was brave or selfish. Maybe it was both. Maybe that's the whole problem. So, am I the one in the wrong here? Honestly, though, what would you have done? Comment below.